Barrett at half court. You can see Ben trying to do as much work as he can, and Barrett just flipping it around. Better play is to get it to Sean. He set the screen for Sean, and Sean nails it. Every little bit helps, and they're inside. The wall's broken apart. Nathan calls for the ball and is able to finish. Christie with that great position. That wedge is doing great work to be annoying, and the shot right into Garth's scoop. Nathan with some space. Oh, a double rim. Cross-court bounce pass to Keith, who handles it, drives in the key and lays it in. As Joe looks like he's got Jordan totally beat. And it looked that way because it was.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, everything in between and on the outside. This is your program director, Jeff Jackson, for Whirly Media Productions, presenting our featured game of the evening. Unlike last time, everybody's good friend, Noah Aaron, will be on the play-by-play as soon as he arrives. No scheduling conflicts this week. Here we are, at the beginning of the game. Rebecca starts with the ball, trying to break through the wall for Red. Looking for a pass, doesn't quite see it yet. Trying to hand it off to Joe, doesn't get there. Hands off to Steve. He's got a screen over Joe. Looks like he's gonna take it. Nope, looking for an alternative. Rebecca's moving into position. Hands it off to Joe, who's gonna take the high shot. Does not go. Keith with the rebound for Yellow. Bringing it up the court. Looks like he's got the outside edge. Chris Branlow reached back, but not enough. Keith gets there in time. And here comes everybody's friend, Mr. Noah Aaron, as Brad Peters blocks Steve right in his face.
And how we doing? All right. Thank you, Jeff. Round of applause for Jeff Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. None of this would be possible without him. As we join this game in progress, 1 minute in, Yellow up, 2-0. Lee Jensen lets it fly. It doesn't go, and he drives backwards. I think he could have set a high wall right there. Steve's going to try one-on-one on Peters. Peters actually looked a little flustered. Steve had a great position there. As Keith is working on a shot against Joe, even with Joe not looking, blocking behind the back, he's always dangerous. You got to expect it. Steve looking to set a pick, maybe on Christie. Joe is coming on around the back end. Keith dropping back a little bit. Wall disintegrating. Rebecca actually doing a great job to prevent Christie from catching him 4 up as Joe drains a shot from the outside. Keith sends the ball up court. Unable to handle it. Joe intercepts it. The Reds got a 3-on-2 as Yellow scrambles. Bounce pass to Mark deep in the key. Mark with a deep, low shot. Able to send it up. All right. And Nathan Dahl, wide open lane, just bounces out. Brad Peters able to pick up a rebound, and he fires it, unhappy with himself as that ball goes skittering down court to Steve, who picks up the rolling ball. As a nice screenshot here. Keith looked like he was ready to strike, but Steve saw it ahead of time. No chance. Red's going to struggle here to get one more inside. It looks like Yellow's set up a 3-on-2 here. Great play. Nice ceiling pass to Christie. They got a 2-on-1 against Chris Banlow. Brad Peters still almost able to pick it up. Chris Banlow, I think he's the tallest goalie here tonight. Steve on a confident streak going 1-on-1 against Keith. Like it was no problem. Here comes Peters, bouncing it off the rim, getting his own rebound, looking for Lee. Lee driving away from the screen and firing the ball up. It doesn't go. They got a 2-on-1 here as Rebecca brings it down, soft passes it off the backboard, but Keith able to intercept. Joe comes up to set a high wall. Brad Peters going to do some one-on-one work, see if he can find a crack in Banlow's armor. It doesn't happen. Red's got a great defensive position, good high wall. Keith got to commit with 4. Here comes a really deep pick from the screen. Steve unable to pick up the 4 up. Keith lets it fly. About 10 seconds left in possession. They might have a 3-on-2 here. And in fact, immediately Red's able to get a 3-on-2. Rebecca lets it fly. Mark with a hopeful behind the back pass that winds up in the car of a competitor as Christie picks it up for a turnover. Red with a really nice wall there, smothering the ball. Wall and a wedge as Nathan comes up a little bit late here. Oh! Brad Peters with a nice move to catch Steve all out of sorts. Steve doing everything he can, but it's not enough. Brad making it look easy over there. Steve putting everything he had to try and recover. Money Mark Mills eyeing it up. Lee interfering, doing just enough. Oh, Money Mark Mills! And I tell you what, since I sat down, things have gone differently. It was 4-0 Yellow. It's now 8-4 Red. What a swing in the last 4 minutes. Red able to convert and take advantage of some of the Yellow teams not being entirely on the same page. I'll tell you the most impressive thing is that Red's put these points up with Joe as the goalie. Joe hasn't been a part of the offense much, maybe 1 or 2 plays. And even with Steve inside his goalie against Brad Peters, that's usually a matchup that you want to exploit. And it's one of the beauties of these mixed leagues is that if this were a competitive league, we'd swap that matchup right away. But we allow ourselves to get some experience. Speaking of Joe not being in the offense, how do you do, sir? Welcome to the game. What a play as Brad sends it back to Lee Jensen, who's going to get a great screen, drives it into the corner, and takes an angle shot on his open side. Joe looking to set a pick. Can probably beat Keith here. He's got a pretty decent position. Keith not in a bad position. And just a wicked forehand, bewildering speed. You can see he faked the backhand to get Keith moving one way and caught him the other way. Brad Peters, great deep wall there. Nice recovery by Red. There's Brad Peters. You can see that screen bumping the wedge out of position to give Nathan a little bit of space. Tough angle, it doesn't go. Steve is going to be inside here. It's going to be a struggle. Oh, Brad Peters interferes with the rebound just enough to break up the play. And Lee's going to be able to pick up that ball. Let's see if Steve can hold him in the corner. No, again, Brad Peters interferes with him enough to make that plan also unsuccessful. Lee brings the ball up, looking for a pass, sends it to Keith. Christie's got a screenshot over Nathan. Nice screenshot. Rebecca's got the nose of Christie's car. We'll see if that can get resolved. Mark Money Mills with, again, that 4-weld shot. I believe it's pronounced money, 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 money. Christie sends the ball into Lee's cart so he can't drop it. He gets the ball, gets it in his scoop. It doesn't look like it's settled in his scoop. And it jiggles around, but finds its way to Nathan, who picks it up. Back to Christie with 10 seconds left of possession. Sends it to Nathan, who's got a screenshot. Oh, that's Chris Banlow. Those are long arms. Chris not in the best wedge position, still kind of caught on Peters' car. Steve has been tearing it up on goalies, has hit a one-on-one shot the first possession of every goalie. But that time Lee was in a good position. Lee quite tall. Good ball movement here. Great rotation as Banlow rotates back. Steve talking about it. Money! Money! money, as he bows to the press box. Wow, nice catch by Nathan. Quick turnaround there. Doesn't go. That was a good look. Yellow team's had some good looks. Ball's not dropping for him. Red hasn't been able to miss. And here, as an example, being able to put up the ball. And Jeff, can I ask you a quick question? Who made that shot?
That would be Mr. Mark Money Mills, I believe is the correct pronunciation.
Sometimes also known as Money, who's been on fire this half. 18-6, 6.5 minutes left in the first half here. Yellow has almost not scored a point in the last 8 minutes. They've made one shot in the last 8 minutes of play. And I don't know if they've switched some cars. I know that there was a really bad red car out here earlier, but I think they switched that out. So I don't. It clearly doesn't look like red is that much weaker than yellow, if at all. All right, nice wall by red as Peters fires that ball. Laser beams it to Keith, who might get a little position here on Banlow, but he's looking for the pick. There's a nice pick. There's possession. Oh, he had him. Keith had position in the key. Bounces around. Banlow able to recover with those long arms. Nothing working for yellow. I think Keith had position there earlier. I don't know if he needed to pass back to Peters, but he'd been holding on to the ball for a while. He probably had that internal 15-second clock working against him as Joe's feeling it. Nice bump there by Steve as he's able to keep Nathan from getting possession. Nathan blocks that shot. Don't sleep on Baby Doll. Red again, great defensive position. You got the height inside. You can see the wall falling back. Steve a little late to the party and immediately in a good wedge position as everybody reads that well. Wedging Nathan Dahl. Brad Peters just got in. I didn't see how that happened. Crack between Banlow and Joe. But here on the other end, Steve working for a 2-on-1. Look at the effort that Steve and Nathan are putting in to fix that. Banlow takes advantage of a look. Didn't go, as Keith has got a long screen just wide right. It's a good shot. Steve directing traffic. They've effectively gotten rid of the wedge for a nice 3.5 weld shot for Rebecca. Great shot as she takes it. Mark comes to set the high wall. That high wall didn't get set. Rebecca's out in a wedge position. Steve pushing the wall out. Yeah, interfering with the shot, and the shot doesn't go. Banlow going to spin on him, but you forget he's not right-handed. Nathan with the left-handed block. Great positioning there. I enjoyed seeing the look in the eyes as Banlow was really hopeful there, and Nathan knew he had him the whole time. 2-on-1 here for Red. Banlow, nice driving. Nice work. Chris Banlow setting that up, picking two players out. The ball slow rolls all the way down. Red again in a good position. Wall's inside this time with Joe wedging. Yellow's got 4 in the offensive area, but no clear screenshot. Still looking for a gap shot. Brad doing some good work down in the key. Reminiscent of Zach Johnner or Darby or any of those guys who just work the heck out of it with the bad car in the key there. Rebecca getting a fistful of defense. Ball unable to drop as Nathan fires it down to Brad Peters, who has Joe deep in the key. Brad able to get his own offensive rebound. He's been doing that all night. Sets up Keith, who didn't have the courage of his convictions, but you know who did? Mr. Joe Tiffany, who sends that ball into the corner. Joe able to pick up the rebound of the ball that he swatted into the corner. Unusual happenstance. Mark looking for the screen over Chris. Chris and Mark read it well, and it was money. Brad Peters comes back. We got a 3-on-2 ball bouncing around on the ground over there. Christie picks it up. Steve coming up big. leaves a hole for Keith, and the 3-on-2 is converted. Nathan Doe with a great defensive, almost interception. It was a block pass, but it went right to Rebecca. I think Banlow might have had a better look there just from a size differential, but not a bad take at all. There's Brad Peters finding a nice 3-weld screen shot, plenty of distance. Keith with a nice deep screen. Nathan almost with a no-look interception block there. Again, a 2-on-1. Rebecca doesn't see the 2-on-1, but Chris Banlow did. Got the offensive rebound, unfortunately. The offensive rebound, the layup didn't go. He was too deep. Nice pass. Kind of a 3-on-2. Good passing there. Great ball movement. Inside some traffic. Red's wall is falling way back. Brad Peters might try something on Mark here. Pass to Keith. Keith with another gap shot just between Joe and Steve there. As Red fights for a 3-on-2, and Rebecca hits the layup. Unfortunately, it double rimmed out, and the sensor didn't go. Mark Money Mills on defense's money. Brad Peters looked like he had an open shot there, but Mark sprung to action at the last second, baiting a block there against Brad Peters. That is tough work. Here we are, last 30 seconds. We're going to have both teams will have an opportunity for this ball. Yellow has managed a bit of a comeback here. Going, and Rebecca just not able to convert. 5 seconds left of possession. All right, 10 seconds left in the half here. Let's see if Keith can put another one up. As time is running out, that wasn't it. The reach behind the back swirl around. Man, that was like 3 different games in the one half, as Yellow was able to come back quite a bit and make it, I believe it's an 8-point game. I think it was 22-16. No, an 8-point game, 22-14. That's 8. That's how math works.
Nothing more dangerous than live math.
Public math is, yeah. It's a kamikaze sport. And in this first half, you know, you really see the red team, the now red team in this half, figuring it out, making a number of adjustments. They're not really talking to each other, but a couple of really sharp players over there. Yellow, you could see it on defense, much more on the same page, a little bit more talking. You know, Steve out there directing traffic a little bit. We'll see if, you know, Joe needs to go float at some point. That's a pretty standard tactic for mixed league teams with Joe, is that if he can play goalie and keep his team scoring, he'll stay back until needed to do that floater thing. All right, pretty decent wall break there. They took a shot with about 15 seconds left. Joe double rimmed out, but Banlow able to pick it up, drive it through a second offensive rebound in the same possession. 10 seconds left in the possession, and the third shot they take goes in. Wow, Christie doing a great work to look at this. Christie setting the seam, reading that the whole way, back on defense. Keith with the layup, but that play was Christie's. Joe's going to get a gap here, maybe. Trying to set up Rebecca for a screenshot. Keith in a good wedge position. Steve might get one if they rotate back. Keith pressing it to make sure that they drop back. Nathan popping out to make sure Joe doesn't get the screen. Great defense here by the red team. Joe should roll in and get a gap here. It's a tough shot. High angle over a lot of tall people. Nice high wall by Yellow. Keith dive bombs in. The wall kind of collapsed. Steve directing traffic for Rebecca to go inside. Keith setting up is a nice screenshot over Brad Peters. Not going to get much better than that. 3-weld angle shot doesn't go. Christie's probably going to get this rebound. Offensive rebound with 5 seconds left. Sends it to Brad Peters, who fires it underhand underneath Mark. And it just bounces off the backboard. A lot of offensive rebounds here. And almost another one. Is Nathan Dahl able to fight that one away after Joe's long distance shot early in the possession? Yellow again, every play with a nice high wall here. Steve getting picked, calling it out. Rebecca floating out into a wedge position. Left a lot of gaps on defense. Chris Banlow in the key. Has Nathan Dahl in a terrible position. Able to convert. Yellow again with the high wall. Great work to recover that. I thought it was collapsing, but they did get first contact there. Oh, now the wall's collapsing a little bit. Lee Jensen's inside. Lee Jensen's all the way inside. Keith wants it, though. Keith is now inside. Wow, from a tight angle. Really tight angle. Makes it work. Brings the game to within 6 points for the first time in a long time as the red team continue closing this gap. Steve fighting position. Look at that, red, nice inside wall with a wedge. As they continue to gel, threatening a 2-on-1. But Joe able to get inside. Christie chasing the ball from the pass that had just a little too much on it to handle. Brad Peters eyeing it up. And fires it just a little bit high. Let's see if Banlow can do this again. Oh, goodness, I think he's going to get on the second time. The first time just rims out. He is beating up Nathan down there. He's going to call, eventually, someone on the red team is going to go back there to help Nathan, and their offense is no longer going to be able to be productive. Right now, yellow's in a great position. Red's not really working on the screen. There it was. As Rebecca starts lunging, it opened up a screenshot for Christie, and it just missed. Banlow coming back to set the pick there. Steve with a long shot. Fires it over the backboard for his quota of rocking the vote once per game. Firing it all the way over the backboard. 3-on-2 as Lee Jensen, unblocked, goes all the way inside and unable to convert. As Brad Peters fighting the pickup sticks to get that hot potato. Keith Wong finally able to convert on that interesting play. That went a few different ways. Let's see if Steve fires it from long range again. He certainly does. You know, Banlow is beating up Nathan down there. I think that's a matchup that works for him. Red still 6 points away from tying this game with under 10 minutes to go. There we go. There's a 2-on-1. Ooh, what a terrible pass. Steve knows it immediately. He feels terrible. Okay, red might have something here. Yellow doesn't have the strongest wall in quick position. The wall here is now at 3 welds instead of 4. There was no wedge out there for Nathan, who had a great shot. And we're now a 4-point game as the ball goes to yellow. And Joe immediately rolls up. And they've got a 2-on-1 here, I think, with Joe. Not really a free 2-on-1. Pretty close. Joe had, that's an open look for Joe. For other people, it's a cross-body contested shot. But it doesn't go as Nathan tries to close the gap even further. Unfortunately, not able to repeat the magic from the previous play. See as Steve continues his trend of going one-on-one with the keeper. He knocks. Oh, he knocked the scoop out of the goalie's hand, and he continues to miss until the key clock runs out. They'll call that Christie dominating Steve in the key one-on-one. As the rim was the best defender on the team. Red attacking with 4. They get all the way through, but they can't get the ball. Nathan exasperated with the inability to get the ball to him in time as the ball trickles all the way into the corner. Mark going to hold him in the corner. Lee fires it up. It doesn't go. Joe going to pick this up behind his back. They got a 2-on-1. Mark setting a pillow block. And they have finally scored as they all celebrate Steve hitting a layup. Big block there from Nathan. I don't think Nathan saw that Keith was going to get around Rebecca, but that was a good shot. Nathan drives all the way back. They probably could have set a high wall. And in the turnover, a little bit of chaos as Yellow's trying to figure out where their wall is as they all drop back all the way inside. They've got stability. Rebecca looking for where she's supposed to be as the wedge. Keith identifies that they're going to have a screenshot opportunity here. It's over a couple of tall guys. Man, Keith just missed that. He's hit that a number of times tonight. Not happy with himself. There's possibly a 3-on-2 here. A lot of ball movement, and Chris in traffic able to put that in. Makes it an 8-point game again as Yellow able to recapture their mojo a bit. Wow, Christie! Another crossbody contested shot. Great angle shot goes in. Man, takes some confidence to do that. And Banlow, if he were aggressively out there, that's never getting open. Steve looking for it, doesn't see it. Finds Joe, who's looking for a screen for Rebecca. Christie closing him down as he rotates out. Banlow might get a look over Steve here, and in fact he does. And it rims out. No good. Joe trying to set a high wall. It doesn't work. Christie burns him. Christie absolutely burns him. Gets the 2-on-1 in the layup to bring it back to a 4-point game. 6 minutes to go in the second half of our featured game. As Steve intimidated by Nathan there. Doesn't like the look. Christie in a great wedge position. Wow! Joe Tiffany hits a 3. First 3 of the night on this game. Puts him up by 7. Oh, Rebecca's beat on the outside. They're going to get a 2-on-1. And Brad didn't know he didn't have the ball. Oh, and he almost put it back anyways. We get 5 in the key and a possession change. The phantom ball feeling. Steve looking to go forehand around Nathan. He didn't like it. He didn't like it. Mark unable to hold that ball. Gets the ball to Steve. Wide angle looking for a rotator. As the ball bounces off of almost everybody's cart, and Christie able to corral it. Still a 7-point game with 5 minutes to go here. See if Brad Peters takes on Joe, and in fact, fires it right around him. Mark trying to set up a 2-on-1, sets up a great screen, but Nathan comes out. Oh, man. Oh, wow! I thought Mark turned the wrong way and got Keith into a good defensive position, but in fact, Mark knew what he was doing. Never in doubt, Mark Money Mills. 3-on-2 here. Christie setting this one up again. Keith not seeing Joe in the ninja hoodie. Blending into the background, apparently. Mark setting up a 2-on-1 here. Great work by Mark. Nice block, nice cut. Steve able to convert. Red's got a 3-on-2 coming back the other way. Let's see if they get a revenge layup or not. Looks like Keith is going to get a gap shot. Those are some 2 tall defenders. Steve wide open with the 2-on-1. Maybe one more pass would have been nice. But they're up by 9, 4 minutes. It's a good play. See here, Yellow trying to figure out who's the wedge. They rotate it so Joe can be wedge. Keith just enough. The bottom rim bounces up and in. Mark Money Mills, who they're still letting shoot screenshots. They shouldn't be doing that in my estimation. Mark's been dynamite. All right. Oh, Christie's in. Christie's around again. Christie causing all kinds of chaos. The red team is in this game. It's the little bit they are. 7 points at 3 minutes because of Christie causing some, doing some good work here on offense. Keith able to snake charm the snake and force him to throw it back. A couple of aggressive hand motions. That's an amazing pass in traffic to Joe, who fakes a pass, fakes out the defense, and is left wide open at the top of a key. Nathan Dahl with a look of exasperation as his team is down by 9 points with 2.5 minutes, which is heading into garbage time here. As Lee Jensen picks up the ball, Joe unable to catch it and then kind of gave up on it as we are in garbage time. 9 minutes separate these two teams. Christie again around the outside. Two minutes remaining. Mark sent it to Steve. Joe calling for him to take a screenshot. Woo! Steve unable to convert there. That's usually a solid shot. Christie might get another layup, but she's unable to handle that pass. Slightly behind her is Mark. I think blew a kiss to Brad Peters. A minute and a half left. 10 seconds left of possession. Keith arms out a three. Mark dropped that ball as Peters bumped him. Able to scoop it back up and send it to Joe, but Brad got all of the position on him. See Joe hit a three here. Oh, it double rims out. Sensor doesn't go. He gets his own rebound. Maybe he'll put up another one. That one also doesn't go. That one's low. But he gets the interception right away. And here comes another one. And that one just misses. Joe almost gets the interception there. Mark able to do enough on defense against Brad Peters. Wow, a pass over Chris Banlow. But that can only mean one thing. It goes straight into the wall for him to pick it up. This has been, as you can see, Nathan parking the car on the side of the court there. 30 seconds left. The game is over. Nathan coming out of that parked position. Steve sending the ball up. Christie from long range. Wow, just missed to the left. And Mark and Brad slap the ball away from each other. Let's see if Joe puts up a Hail Mary here. Ceiling! And time expires. And there it is. Joe's team up by 9 at the close. This has been your featured game here on Court 1 from the Seattle Mixed Leagues. I want to give a special thanks to our camera persons and Jeff Jackson. I'll turn it over to Jeff Jackson here, our technical director, for some acknowledgments.
Yes, our camera operators, Ryan Walker and John Kinnear. Thank you very much. This is Whirly Media Productions with your featured game in Whirlyball Seattle. Thank you very much for tuning in.
This has been Noah Aaron wishing you all a very good night.